Hey guys, it's San and welcome back to the BulbaSquad. So today we're going to be covering modern and essentially seeing what it can become. So I want to evaluate, will it ever become vintage? Short answer, no, but don't worry, I will go into some detail as to why. Will it ever become like pseudo vintage? Which at this point we can categorize like X, Y to WotC as pseudo vintage. Again, short answer, no. And will it ever become like Sun and Moon? Because I know that is one that everyone is interested in. Maybe? It's yes and no. Okay, I'll elaborate. So, first, without further ado, let's hop right into it. Right away, the reason it will never become pseudo-vintage or vintage is supply. Straight up, people are hoarding this stuff more than they ever did back then. We don't even have to go beyond that. The sheer amount of supply of the entire Sword and Shield block is more than you could imagine when even if we were to take those two areas and combine them. Like, there is a ton of actual gem mint stuff out there, both in sealed form, graded form, and if people open it, a lot of the time, even children, they just pop these suckers into penny sleeves and then maybe even top loaders at times because parents like to buy that stuff for their kids now. So right away, we're going to go ahead and just discount those two. Because on that very basic premise, it means that the supply-demand dynamics will never permit these sets to go to tens of thousands of dollars. Like, just that premise alone. I just wanted to debunk that real quick in case any of you were thinking that would happen, because I believe you're doing yourself a disservice if that is the idea you have in your mind and what you're approaching modern with. Now, the bigger question. Will it ever become like Sun and Moon? I understand this one. I really do get why people think this, because Sun and Moon is the last set, and then Team Up, I believe, is $700. Don't fully quote me on it, because I haven't seen the prices as of late. Maybe they tanked a bit, I'm not sure. Team Up, $700. Unbroken Bonds was like $250. We had Ultra Prism was pretty high up there. There's a lot of set. Oh yeah, Cosmic Eclipse, I believe, was at $500. There's a lot of sets out there that are quite expensive in the Sun and Moon block. Even Burning Shadows is getting up there. Even Sun and Moon Base was getting up there. I don't know if that took a hit because of the reprint on the ETBs. Or not the reprint, the repackaging. I'm trying to stick to my story, okay? That's what I believe. I don't want to confuse any of you guys. So, back to what I was saying. The reason it's possible is... Let me rewind the clock. I can't fully predict this, but this is what I believe happened. 2016 hit. Pokemon had to ramp up their supply massively because of the sudden influx of demand. Once that happened, and the demand really started to drop down, but the supply was still going up, there was a disconnect and prices crashed. That's very easy to see. Just look at back at that time period, look at the videos, look at Rudy covering Ancient Origins, Primal Clash, even Evolutions. Look at his videos to give you a really good snapshot and peek into that timeline. Now, after that, I have a theory. They had a little bit of a rocky time trying to figure out, is the supply up here or down here? Like, where do we need to do it? Where do we need to put supply in order to meet demand to get the perfect equilibrium? And they get it wrong. And somewhere in the middle, like early mid to middle of the entire Sun and Moon block, they're so similar. Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, it's just so close. They got it right. They got the supply right, and they met demand. Just neck and neck. What happened is then Hidden Fates came out, and it did create a genuine interest in the hobby. It did bring in new people. The moment that happened, because they were so close, the relationship was so close, the moment the demand went up, it immediately caused the prices to increase. It had to increase, just because of the simple relationship. With Sword and Shield, we're seeing a very similar repetition. I can't say if it'll be identical, but what I'm seeing looks very reminiscent of it. When I look at it, I could very well see Pokemon tank modern, as some people say they already are. Maybe it's still gonna have a long way to go. That's why I'm warning against buying the dip. We don't know where the bottom is at the moment. And if they keep doing it, and they tank it for a while, then maybe a year, 2 years down the line, they finally get it right. They get the supply-demand relationship perfectly. And they set it up so that if we do get a catalyst, not like the pandemic, I'm not thinking that. If we get a catalyst like Hidden Fates was, which just take everything that happened before Logan Paul, before the lockdowns, and probably chop it in half, and that would be a realistic gain we could see on things. Or if you could somehow look at the Pokemon Go boom, that would be a realistic gain you could see on things. Because that was not as impactful. That was more organic demand. At least in my opinion it was. So what does this all mean? It means if we follow the exact footsteps, or very close to what happened with Sun and Moon, or the Pokemon Company follows the footsteps, then it could set up a situation where should we hit another catalyst, it could very well cause prices to explode very rapidly in some sets. Especially if the set is above average. Do you see what I mean? That's where the possibility of it becoming like the Sun and Moon block is. However, on the flip side, Sun and Moon is arguably a more dead period in Pokemon, especially the middle. People weren't all that interested in, what was it? I forget what it was called. Lost Thunder. There was a Rayquaza set somewhere in there. Even Burning Shadows was kind of a dud because it was just Charizard or bust. People didn't like that as much. And so, it was a dead period. Even with the tag team set, people were excited, but they weren't exploding in price other than Ultra Prism. Ultra Prism was a very unique situation. But all the other sets, they were 110, maybe 120 on the high end. And even, if I remember correctly, like 6 months after Unbroken Bonds came out, yes, that set, really good, Reshizard, it was like $98 on eBay. Incredibly affordable. So, now we go to the Sword and Shield block. There's so many more people who have eyes on it because we had almost 2 years of just excitement. If we want to just go off of Logan Paul, we had 1 year of excitement. What's that? 5 sets. Think about it. Champion's Path, Vivid Voltage, Shining Fates, Battle Styles, Chilling Rain, Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, Celebrations. 8 sets where people were excited and going for it. Opening stuff like crazy, slipping them into sleeves, flooding PSA, investing in it. Because of that, that is an atmosphere that was never present in the Sun and Moon block until 2020. So, just the sheer amount of supply being hoarded, it's night and day. It's not even a comparison. It is insane. So it creates a situation where, are we truly going to be able to replicate what happened to the Sun and Moon block? Because the simple foundation upon which this entire block is built upon, speculation, investment, hype, value in the cards, rare. If it's rare, I want to save it. It might be worth more in the future. Just look, even Danny Phantom's channel, Mason's channel, everyone's channel, they realize and they see clearly that everyone sees value within the cards. That was not the case in the Sun and Moon block. So all of this is to say, there is the capacity for a situation like what happened with Sun and Moon. Supply-demand perfect shift, then it spikes up. But as of right now, that's not possible with the sets. At least I don't think it is. I don't think it's possible with Evolving Skies. I don't think it's possible with Battle Styles, Chilling Rain, Celebrations. Maybe in another year or 2? Maybe even in 3 years. We don't know about that. But right now, I don't think it's possible to purchase it and just wait until that disconnect happens, where that shift happens. Because we don't know how long it'll be after such a big growth spurt. Maybe in another year or 2 we will hit that period where they meet perfectly finally, and it's much easier to do for a shift to occur. Because right now, I'd argue the supply is above the demand. That's why the prices are dropping to reasonable prices. That's why the thing is, people are saying, well, supply and demand, well, the prices are still like 120, 130. But that's being very short-sighted. That's refusing to see it the wider scheme of things. There are people out there with cases and cases of this stuff just sitting there. They're investing in it. It's not on the market. But guess what? If all of the sealed product that's out there being hoarded actually hit the market at once, do you know what would happen to the prices? Yes, you could say this is speculation, but I would argue it's really not speculation. I feel this is just obvious. What's on the market is not representative of what is being hoarded. Because the market is driving down to 120, 140. I can't remember what Evolving Skies was at. If all the sealed product came out at once, it'd drop it even further. That's what I believe. That's why I say supply is above demand right now. So it is not possible to purchase in. Imagine that they're close and then hope for the shift of demand going up. I don't see that happening right now. So that's all I got for you guys today. Tell me, what did you guys think about this discussion? Did you enjoy this speculative discussion? And that how I immediately debunked the first two, because I know some of you guys don't understand it, don't fully get it. And I just wanted to briefly touch on that, especially because I wanted to do it in a way that was respectful. I understand that some people just don't know, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing. It's only wrong to be willfully ignorant. As for the rest of the conversation, do you agree? Do you think we're heading into a period where we might have perfect equilibrium or close to perfect equilibrium, and then set up for a very drastic shift should we hit another catalyst? Or do you believe this is it? We're not going to have any more big catalysts like Pokemon Go or even Hidden Fates. If so, just tell me why down below. Either way, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to support the channel, Patreon, and thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.